Okay, so now I would like to work on my Dark Souls diorama. The first little scene, we're kind of very close to finishing. You guys might remember the painting here. I've set it within the little scene there, and then I've worked off stream just the sort of the ground base here, which we will then place the little guy. Ooh, where is he? Oh, he's actually in my cabinet right now. He's in my DTOF, my new DTOF. So yeah, that's kind of the idea so far. Pretty happy with it. Well, we're gonna work on this more and try and build this up a little more, and we're gonna add snow and all that crap. Bacon, oh damn. Yeah, so let's try and finish this today. I think we'll be able to finish this today, and we'll put the little guy there. And I have the space there because I want to be able to remove him. I don't want to actually glue him right there permanently. I'd rather be able to take him out, you know? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let's get cracking on this. Oh, there's a few things I want to mention though about this project. It's been a little bit of a learning experience for me. So this was always the plan, right? But at a certain point, I thought maybe what I should do is... Wait, do I have my concept drawing sketch here? I might have my drawing. Oh yeah. I was thinking... So this was my initial sort of plan for this, right? And then I kind of got the idea to set it within this little organizer that I bought at the dollar store. But the more I worked on this, I thought, how about I come back to this idea and have something kind of removable, right? Like I could have this slot in and out of the cabinet of the little display storage thing, right? The shelf. I was very close to doing that, but I was like, let's just stick to the original idea because this would be a little more work, and I'm not sure if I wanted to do it, right? So I continued to work just like this, but I ran into some problems. Placing this thing in the back wasn't too big of an issue, but when it came to actually doing all this stuff, it was a little tricky just because putting the glue, adding the sand, sculpting the blocks and the rocks and stuff, it just became really hard to paint everything, right? Because I'd have to get all the angles and stuff, and I'm painting just from this one direction rather than, you know, being able to rotate this and see it 360 degrees. I'm only painting from this one direction, and for that reason it became very tricky. So I'm going, for the next few ones, I'm going to have to build these parts, build all of these things in parts, right? And then place it inside rather than working directly onto this. I think that's the strat. I mean, the blocks here, these big blocks, I did paint them separately and then place them in, but even then it was a little tricky. Bacon, didn't you draw the bridge as well? What happened to that one? Yeah, so the bridge is still here. I still have to finish painting this. This was always kind of like, this was never intended for this project. This one here was something that I did because I kind of just felt like doing, and I wanted to make like a frame around it, like the frame as it is in the game. But yeah, this is kind of like outside of this project. It's just I was working on it at the same time because it was like kind of related, of course. But yeah, it's still there, and we'll probably work on that sometime soon. Let's see. Any plans for the sidewall? No. Currently, I don't have any plans. I kind of wanted to leave it this way, and we'll see. We'll see how it looks when it's all done. If it ends up looking kind of weird, I will simply paint it black or something. But so far, I kind of want to just leave it that way. But we'll see. We'll see. So let's get working on this. I kind of don't really have a good way of propping this thing up as I paint it. It's kind of awkward. There we go. I put like a eyeglass case there. That can kind of help. I need to be able to see it as I'm painting. It's a little awkward, but so yeah, let's get out some white paint. Let's get out and lay this down. I don't think we'll really get any paint elsewhere, but let's just do that for safety precautions. And yeah, let's so right now I'd like to kind of paint more the white to sort of match the background. And we might even paint the background more. It's Paper Joey. How's it going, Paper Joey? How are you today? Right now we're working on this Dark Souls diorama, and the plan is to finish this up today. We'll see if we can actually do it. I'm gonna try. And right now we're just kind of adding the snow, sort of getting that idea of snow, and then we'll actually use some Citadel effects paint snow to kind of further reinforce that. Hope you're doing well. Weekend's coming up. I don't know if anyone has big plans for the weekend. Past few weeks I've had something to do every weekend, but this weekend I'm not really sure. We have there's like a comic convention happening this weekend, but I'm not really sure if I'm gonna go or not. We'll see. And I think what I'm going to do is get a sponge and kind of sponge on some of this. Oh, I have a sponge over here. Your second VTuber Nentroid has arrived? Oh shit. Is it time to do another video? No rings this time? You gonna marry another one? No engagement ring this time. Carmi, that's looking so good. Oh, thanks, Carmi. Appreciate it. Yeah, I'm hoping I can finish this today. Hopefully. Yeah, I'm glad it's looking good. It's not like I've ever really done anything like this before, so I'm just kind of making it up as I go along and hoping for the best. So yeah, I'm glad if it kind of looks good. We're kind of on the right track. We're using the sponge brush tool that we made last time. It's very effective, highly effective. It's highly effective. It's super effective, that's what they say in Pokemons. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. We still need to add a bit of blue, like a bluish tint to everything in the foreground. And then I kind of want to fade everything in the background more, but we'll try. Paper Joe, I'm really enjoying that September art challenge that you're doing on Instagram. Oh, thanks. Thank you. So for those that don't know, for the month of September, I'm participating in Sketchtember, and also some of my streamer pals, art streamer pals like Vanilla and Esterella slash Steph and Dory Moth. They're all doing artwork sketches for the month of September. It's kind of like Inktober. We were talking about Inktober earlier. It's kind of like that, except it's more like sketches rather than like really fancy schmancy art pieces or whatever. I don't know. And it's been fun so far. So I'm glad you enjoy it, Paper Joey. For anyone that's interested, you can check that out on my Instagram. I'm sure the Nightbot has spammed my Instagram channel, so you can find it there. You can find it in the info section on my about page. And yeah, it's kind of fun. Ashwin, bruh, just came back in so good, so sick, love. Are you malfunctioning, Ashwin? Are you okay? I'm glad you like it though. I'm glad. Paper Joe, it's really fun to see what's new every day, even if it's a small edition. I think it's a great format. Yeah, cool. I'm glad you like it. It's possible I might miss a few days as the days go on, but so far I've been keeping up, I guess. Yeah, I'm glad you also like this, Ashwin. We're working away. Oh, there's something that I wanted to mention about this this thing that I'm working on here. And so I've never really made a diorama with a painted background, something that I've been really wanting to do for a while now. And this was like a good opportunity to practice and try it out. I'm pretty happy with the results, although there's something that I kind of want to mention for future reference. When I was painting this background, I was painting it as if it was a painting unto itself, which is to say, I was thinking about it as an image. I was thinking about it as a illustration, as a painting, and I was working on it with that in mind. And so when I say that, I wanted to compose it in a way where it was a pleasing painting, which sounds all very fine and well, but the issue with that is that the painting of this background was not the end goal. It was simply a component to a larger project. It was simply a part of this, right? And so the issue came up once I placed this in, and then I was working on the foreground stuff, was that there was this big block here in the foreground of the painting, and yet this was a background. This was a background picture that would then have elements in the foreground. Do you know what I mean? It created this weird thing where there was something in the foreground that was really should just be in the background. So in the future, when I do the other scenes here, I'll have to keep that in mind and work in a way where we're really just thinking about the image as a background thing and not really placing things in the foreground of the image, because we are then going to be putting like 3D elements in front. Paper Joy, you see what you mean? Yeah. It's just something that I never really thought of, and it was when I first started to place this all in, I was like, oh, that is kind of weird. But anyways, let's just carry on. You know, I wasn't about to like repaint it or anything like that. Ashwin, yeah, this is set painting stuff. Great blend of real life and 3D. Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's just something that I never really thought about. Let's see. Ashwin, and you also have to remember the star or focal point is the figure that it frames. Right. I think that is going to be okay. Once we put the figure, I think it'll kind of come together nicely because he's so brightly colored, the character, that everything else will kind of recede. All of this stuff will kind of recede because it's all just monochrome and dark. That it'll kind of stand out nicely. Hopefully, maybe. Let's get a beverage. But those are all things that I can kind of consider as we work on the next few images later on. Gulp, gulp, sloth. Yeah, you can hear me gulping away. And I kind of want to recede the background more. I kind of want to fade it away. So I think I'm not actually sure how I'll do that. Maybe I'll kind of wash it in a bluish tint or something. Let's get some more beverage. Music. Meh. It also helps to look at it on my second screen here rather than looking at it in person. It kind of helps me understand maybe what else I could do. And so the other scenes, like, one thing that I think is going to be kind of interesting about this whole project when it's done is that the other scenes will be like different environments, right? Like this one here is cold and icy, and then this one here, my intent is to have it be where you meet Solaire, so that's going to be kind of bright daylight, right? And kind of like a medieval castle, and then I forget which character I intended to put here, but there's going to be like a swamp, and then there's going to be like a hellish fiery lava zone here. Like, yeah, we're going to have different environments, so I think that's going to be really fun, is having that kind of variation. Cells are just inverted cubes. Oh no, the cubes, see? I can't escape it, guys. It's everywhere, it's everywhere. Actually, I was making some thumbnails for YouTube, sort of chopping up my stream and turning it into like little bite-sized things for YouTube. And I made a really funny, in my opinion, funny little thumbnail about cubes. I might throw it up on Instagram or something. Sometimes I make really dumb thumbnails that amuse me. And yeah, really for YouTube it's tough. Like, it's tough to really get your video seen on YouTube. And I'm not really trying to make it big on YouTube or anything like that. But it amuses me when I can make something like that. When I can make a really funny little thumbnail. At the very least, it amuses me. So in the absence of YouTube stardom, at least I can amuse myself. There he goes. Yeah, so we're adding a hint of green this greenish blue to kind of tie in the scene together, tie it all in. And we don't have to apply it like everywhere. I'm kind of just dabbing it around, and just that much is fun. How does the background audio work when you have to cut? Oh, it just cuts. Like I don't really think about like blending it nicely or having it match. I just, I'm not the best editor, and I barely edit my videos. I just kind of make a clip. I guess that's the better way to put it. I just kind of make clips of my moments on Twitch. Yeah. Okay, let's try and fade this out a bit. I think that's something that I could try and work on and improve upon, is try and edit my work a bit more and for YouTube and make it a little bit more polished. That's something that I could try and work on, because I think it'd be good. I think that'd be better. But yeah, at the moment it's just kind of like a place to throw up some videos. And initially when I started to stream, I kind of had this in mind to put stuff up on YouTube, simply because then I wouldn't feel so bad about streaming and having like 1 viewer, 0 viewers, because that's basically what it was like for me at the start. And for many months and for a very long time, I would basically be streaming to nobody. And it can be disheartening. It can be a little weird and off-putting for the streamer to do that. But I always had this in mind that, like, well, I'm also putting it up on YouTube, so I don't feel that bad, because at least I'm turning it into something else. It's not simply, this isn't simply everything there is to it. I always had that in mind. But actually, we just reached 30,000 views in total on YouTube, which was kind of like a cool little milestone for me. And we got we passed the 100 subscribers mark on YouTube as well, which was pretty neat. Again, like in the grand scheme of things, that's not really that big of a deal, but for someone like me, I was pretty happy with that. Okay, I think we can now work on the snow. Stuff done, or you can get out there and see the world. I don't know what people do. Okay, let's do this. Let's slap this on. And when I was using this initially for my Frost Giant model, I was very careful to apply it like just a little bit and build it up. But I think that I'm a little more used to how this stuff feels, how this stuff applies, that we can kind of go in a bit heavier now. And as a Canadian, I feel pretty familiar with how snow works and how snow falls, so I have to draw upon my years and years of experience living in the Canadian wilderness. No, I don't live in the wilderness, but living in Canada to make this feel authentic. Finished work up early and kind of using the extra time to take off split ends. Okay, cool. Just some other extra things that you need to get taken take care of. I don't know if you have any projects that you're working on, but yeah. Cool. Got a clump of snow that kind of has fallen to the back corners. Yeah, so the next time I work on another scene here, I'm going to create these little parts individually and then place them inside once they're all complete, because as it is now, working on it as it's set inside the scene, it's just kind of it's just a little awkward to do, right? Because I'm basically painting from one side only. I can only access this painting from the front, and it's kind of awkward. Oh, by the way, I just totally random, guys, but I just remembered that there's some kind of Ubisoft event today. Is it today or tomorrow? It could be today. Talking about future Ubisoft games. How well does the snow stick? It actually sticks pretty well. Like right now, it kind of feels like clumpy and it kind of falls off. But once it dries, it's there. Like it's on there pretty good, and yeah, surprisingly so actually. Oh yeah, kind of liking it with the snow now. It's kind of liking the look. Pardon me, everyone, while I make it face this way. I know you guys can't really see it, but I need to kind of look at it from this angle to work on it. So, sorry. It's a little awkward for you guys. Yeah, so I think I want to play around with resin more, and perhaps the next scene I make will be a swamp scene, so I can make like a swampy water kind of effect. This is actually pretty good practice too for like bigger dioramas if I really want to try and make like a larger scene involving, for example, snow or a swampy scene or a lava scene, as I'm mentioning. I'll have this experience of working on a smaller scale to kind of draw upon. You know what I mean? And that's one thing I like about this hobby in general, is kind of like you can kind of build upon your experiences, right? Like sometimes when I watch YouTube and I see all these great builders and these great painters and they make all this awesome stuff, and there's this feeling like you could be oh man, these guys are so good, that means I want to be, I have to be just that, I have to be just as good. Like how do I do that? It's kind of intimidating, and then you end up not doing anything at all because you're just so overwhelmed and put off by the brilliance of like, you know, Jose da Vinci. There's a guy on YouTube like Jose da Vinci. But my view has always been like just kind of work on one aspect of the hobby at a time. Work on, like, one project could be you want to get better at blending, or you want to get better at weathering, or you want to try and work on your backgrounds and your snow. Kind of work on each little aspect at a time, and then you kind of build it up, and then soon enough you can take on bigger projects where you're drawing upon all that experience, and it all comes together. I don't know if that makes sense. You're gonna work on the next Dark Souls mini after this? Painting the miniature itself isn't that bad. It's pretty. It doesn't take that long. And the one that I worked on for this, I mean, it was all yellow, so it's fairly easy to do. But I just might do something else. I mean, if you guys have followed me thus far and watched like what I do on stream, I kind of bounce from project to project. So we might just very well kind of do something else, like a little detour, and then we'll come back to this. We'll see. I think it's really fun, and I'd like to finish this sooner rather than later. Paper Joey, you don't want to make those mistakes like that background perspective when you go full scale. Yeah, exactly. Man, what a what a funny thing to realize. Like I was working on this stuff off stream, you know, and I was like, huh, that doesn't make sense. Because again, I was more thinking of just painting it as a painting and not really considering that the painting part was only just one aspect to the larger project. Anyways, you live, you learn. You live, you learn. Let's clean that up. Yeah, so the next one, if I do paint another model from this range, I think I will do Maneater Mildred. Do I have the miniatures? I think I have the miniatures somewhere here. I think I'll paint Maneater Mildred. Actually, Maneater Mildred was the second place option. For those that don't know, this whole Dark Souls project, it kind of started off as a vote. I had a viewer community contributed goal, and once we met the goal, I had everyone vote on a selection of miniatures. I had like 10 miniatures that I lined up, and there was only like a handful of people watching at the time, but they voted for Xanthous King Jeremiah to be the one to paint. But the second place painting miniature was Maneater Mildred, which is also from Dark Souls. And I figured let's do Mildred. Here's Mildred right here. And she's an invader that you encounter in the game. And I believe you encounter her in the swamps. So yeah, I think that we'll put the swamp right here. The swamp will be right here. So we'll have the bluish snowy scene here. And then we'll have like a greenish swamp scene here. And then we'll have the bright and sunny scene of Solaire right here. And then this is the Onion Knight, Sigmire. I don't really know where I'll put him. I don't know what kind of scene I'll put for him. If I know Bacon is a Dark Souls fan, so I don't know if he has any input for that. And I have two other spaces, I think. Wait, is this a Dark Souls 1 character? I'm actually not sure. I forget if this is a Dark Souls 1 character, but I have these miniatures out, so I think that they're from Dark Souls 1. And this guy, and we'll put them there. And yeah, Paper Joey, where do these minis come from? Yeah, so it's from a Dark Souls board game. Oh, that's right, Bacon. He shows up in a few different places, but what's like a iconic place that you find him? Yeah, if you have any kind of visually interesting place in mind where you encounter him, you don't actually see him in the Crystal Caves. I know that. Do you encounter his sister or his daughter outside the Crystal Caves? That would have been cool. The Onion Knight at Sense Fortress. Okay. Possible. Are these two Dark Souls characters? Bacon? Because I think you would know. And yeah, so Paper Joey, yeah, they're from a Dark Souls board game. I have the box here, this is actually specifically an expansion to the board game, not the full board game itself. But yeah, I actually just recently read that the manufacturer, the producer of this game, Steamforged Games, they are doing a second edition of the board game with better rules, like rules adjustments and better clarity, and it'll have new different miniatures, and there's more expansions and stuff. The which should be from Dark Souls 1. Okay, cool. Yeah, I took out those miniatures because that's the ones that I had planned to do, but I don't really recall exactly where they're from. Oh, the witch is one of the daughters of Chaos, I think, right? It's one of the daughters of Chaos, so that would have been the fiery scene. You would see her in the lava place, I think. Is it lava? No. It's more of like a swampy area too, I think. And I'll put that here because it's going to be more red-like, I think. Paper, that means your first edition could be a collector's thing? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, the world of collecting board games, it's a thing. So give me a second, guys. I'm just going to get the figure, all right? That's Beatrice, a phantom you can summon for a boss fight. Oh, okay. I'll have to look up Beatrice then and see where you encounter her. Okay, let's put some blue tack. I think I need some blue tack because this guy is not gonna stick just straight up like that. Where's my blue tack at? Don't I have some? Ah, here it is. It's always handy to have some blue tack around. Just give me a second, guys. We'll put this like this. Here, I'll do this off screen, and then I'll have the big reveal for you guys. Oh, she helps out versus the Moonlight Butterfly? Okay, cool. Ooh, this is looking pretty nice, guys, I think. I think we got something cool going on. I have him stuck on there with some blue tack just because I have to tilt this diorama downwards or flat so you guys can see on the camera. But there you go. What do you think? I think that's pretty neat, guys. I'm pretty happy with this. And the way the yellow kind of really draws your attention, and all the gray and blue and black kind of create the focus. Yeah, wow. Pretty happy with this. Here, let's get another one out there. What do we got?
Mission complete.
Mission complete. That deserves a gulp. Oh, now I'm out of my beverage. But you know what? Paper Joey. As a proof of concept, as a first attempt at what will be a series of 5 more images, this is promising. I feel like I think we're onto something, and I'm pretty excited to see how the rest will look. Yeah. Look at that. And let's get a nice close-up zoom. You know what? This came out pretty much how I envisioned it. And that's something that I felt that's what can be very frustrating for artists, any kind of any kind of artist, any kind of thing where you're creating, is that idea in your head versus the physical product or the final thing that you finish, right? That's where the frustration can come, where you have this grand idea in your mind. You have any kind of idea in your mind. It doesn't even have to be a grand idea. But when you actually finish it and you look at it and it just doesn't quite meet the image that you had envisioned in your brain, that can be very frustrating. And I think you have to be kind of kind to yourself. That's one thing, is like you kind of have to kind of let yourself, give yourself a little slack and realize that it's a process. Nothing is really gonna look amazing right at the start. You kind of have to build up the skills. We were talking about that earlier. You kind of have to build up the experience to kind of get to a point where, leave some margin for error. Yeah. You need to get to a point where you just build up all the experiences that you've had, and just bit by bit, and then you can get to a point where you're closer. Maybe you won't ever fully get to that point where you're just 100% creating the things that you imagined in your head and realizing it as a drawing, realizing it as a sculpture or a song or a book or whatever. But you get closer, and slowly but surely those two things kind of get closer and closer. The thing that you imagined and the thing that finally is realized. And this is pretty close to how I sort of envisioned it. In fact, let's do... There it is, guys. This is where we started. Dark Souls mini dials. Very small vignettes. Xanthous. It said, I wrote here, painting. Snow effect. And 3D terrain modeling. And there's the drawing. And here we are today. And yeah, that's where it can start, and that's where you can end up. But I think that's gonna do it for me, everyone. We've successfully finished one of these, and there's more to come. I don't really have a timeline in terms of when I'd like to do the rest of these. All I know is that I'd like to get them. I don't want to leave this for too long. Do you know what I mean? I kind of want to do it in a timely manner, but I don't really have a specific time frame in mind. But we'll get to those. We'll get to those in due time.